Hey everybody, it's Goblin and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to be playing another premiere draft of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the latest set on Magic Arena. Without further ado, let's get into our pack one. Pick one here where we've got a really good pack. Our rare is Realm of Ko, which we can use in any black deck as a nice mana sink in the late game, spitting out a bunch of unblockable spirits. They also can't block, so they can't block or be blocked for the most part. But this was a good way to chip through for the final few points of damage in the late game, so that's a reasonable pick. There's also a Teo, which I haven't had the opportunity to play yet, but I played against it a lot, particularly in the early access event, and it was consistently pretty terrifying. It's good card selection, and it keeps making whatever flyer you have attacking bigger and bigger as you're using it, so I like that a lot. Sun Warriors is also really cool, but it locks us into a two-color pair, so it's definitely less flexible. I'm going to start off with the Teo here and see if we can't get some good value off of this creature. Pick two now. I think the first time flyers are really reasonable follow-up to the Teo. The lessons in this set are all pretty good instants and sorceries, like they're already just good costs up front, so it is not hard to run at least like 5 lessons in your deck and have this pretty consistently just be a 2-mana 2/3 flyer. If you have a flyer on board, the turn that you cast the Teo, that's even better. That way you get an attack immediately the turn they hit the board. So I like taking first time flyer here, but I think it would also be very reasonable to take cat-gator. We played this in a blue-black deck before. That was mostly black, a little bit of blue, and it was very impressive. Really good way to stabilize in the late game or just finish your opponent off if you have enough swamps on the board. So cat-gator is a really fun, really strong one as well. But I'm going to see if we can make sure we get Teo working with a nice cheap flyer to go with them. But now pick 3. There's a cat-gator again, and this time not as good of blue. Platypus Bear is not very impressive. Professor Zay is alright though. Discard a card, draw a card every turn, good card selection, but I think cat-gator is likely the most impressive card in this whole pack. Speculate towards that. Guana Parrot, pretty fine. We've got a 2-mana, 3-mana, and 4-mana flyer all in blue alone here. Alternatively, take the Sold Out. Sold Out is individually a much stronger card than Iguana Parrot. Just really nice, flexible, instant speed removal. It exiles to make sure there's no graveyard recursion. It just doesn't have that Teo synergy. But I think we gotta take premium removal when we see it. We'll grab Sold Out there. Pick number 5, another really good pack. I'm gonna go for Firebending Lesson here so we can still stay flexible this early. This is a great flexible removal spell. It is 1 red mana, so it's even splashable, but the kicker ability to cast it for 1 or cast it for 5 is great. Really, really good removal. There are decent on-color cards. June's probably the best of them. Blue-black has a lot of potential card draw and clue token production to have some nice synergy there, but I still want to stay a bit open here, and I'm going to grab Firebending Lesson. Pick 6, there's another Sold Out here. Definitely take that over Cruelty Inspector or Master Paku, and the off-color cards this time are all just bad. Pick 7, there's a black-red duel. If we drop the blue, the only blue cards we've taken are Pack 1, Pick 1, and our Pack 1, Pick 2. We haven't seen any really good blue wheeling around, just Iguana Parrots, which are fine. I'm going to take this duel. A little speculative. Could be more useful. There's another one. There's also Pick 8 cat-gator. There was a cat-gator in our pick 2 as well, I believe. If we get a pick 10 cat-gator, that is the clearest mono black lock it in 17 swamps 3 cat-gators deck I've ever seen. I'm speculating. I'm hoping that can work out. All right, come on, pick 10. Let's get another cat-gator. If it doesn't work out, what's the best card going to be here? Because I'm really not a fan of Dialing Indoctrination. Probably Barrels of Blasting Jelly, I suppose. Maybe Earth Kingdom Soldier. This card's really solid at 5 in any green or white deck. Although our black isn't going to be super creature heavy, most likely. Yeah, Barrels or Soldier. I'll take Soldier. Pick 10 cat-gator. Here we go. Get ready for the full mono black, good lord, triple cat-gator in a single pack. Here we go. Zuko's Exile is not a good card, but when we have 3 copies of cat-gator, we're doing everything in our power to just run 17 swamps. Okay, pack 2, pick 1. We have a very reasonable swamp snare trap removal spell. We probably wheel the double black little mini board wipe thing. It's not that good in best of 1 draft because you could definitely run into matchups where most of their creatures are just big stuff like the green decks that doesn't really kill anything. So it's a very matchup dependent card. I think it should be a much later pick than Swamp Snare in general. So let's grab Swamp Snare Trap. There's another Ruinous Waterbending here. We should wheel at least one of them. I'm going to grab another Swamp Snare Trap. This is a Fabled Passage, which is worth mentioning for other decks, but if we're mono black, obviously it doesn't really do anything. Pick number 3. We are not seeing good black this pack. Maybe there's just no respect for the cat-gators, because you don't have to be mono black for them to be good. It's just like if you have 3 of them, you would like to try really hard to be mono black. If you're on a 10-7 split, they're still pretty great. I feel like Swamp Hunters is filler enough to take like a red or a blue card here towards the potential 10-7 split deck. Multiple blue rares. There's also a Quench that's pretty good. I like the Flood Prevention land here. Pick number 4. That is a late Invasion Submersible, and the black spells are just not exciting once again. So I'm going to take Invasion Submersible. Pick 5. There we go. These are some exciting black cards. Judy and Corrupt Court Official. I currently really don't have a lot of cards to sack to the Judy, so I'm just going to take the Court Official first. But Judy can be really, really nice when you do have the expendable cards to sacrifice to her. Just that Daily Indoctrination again. I'm just going to grab the Boomerang Basics bounce spell. It's a late Earthbender Ascension. It's a little slow, but it seems real nice for the green decks. Super reasonable black spell with a long fang here. June, pick 8. The blue card in the pack would have to be quite a bit better than the black card for me to go towards blue. Because again, even if we are going to play both of these colors, we want to have our quantity of black spells be much higher than the quantity of blue spells, so that our quantity of swamps can be much higher than our quantity of islands. Really prefer to cut these two. They're both very expensive removal spells, particularly Zuko's Exile is quite a bad one. It's very expensive, and your opponent gets a clue. So you're giving your opponent a 2-for-1 in their favor. It's a 1-for-2. You'll probably have heard me talk a lot about how good 2-for-1s are. You don't want to be on the opposite end of that spectrum. You don't want to be on a 1-for-2. We wheel a Ruinous Waterbending. Yeah, I would try out like a double Ruinous Waterbending control build with triple cat-gator at the top. If we can pull off the mono black for it. If we don't get enough cards to go mono black, and I do have to go blue black, I'm probably not running the Waterbendings. I'm just running better blue cards than them. But in order to have 23 black spells, I would run double Waterbending and try to play that as kind of a early board wipe against aggro decks for a more controlling, more late game focused deck. But I wouldn't run Northern Air Temple as the only shrine, and I wouldn't run multiple Foggy Swamp Hunters ideally, so speculative pick of the Quench there. That Hog Monkey is a black spell at least. We're on 14 black cards, so I would need basically every single pick to be on color. Every single pick needs to be a black spell in the final pack to be able to do mono black. That feels unlikely. The blue spells aren't great here. Katara's fine, but we're not very good at waterbending in this deck, so I'd rather just take a black spell like Callous Inspector for the best filler black card. Wheel a Battle Fan, probably most likely wheel a Swamp Hunters here. It's the second one of the rare blue land that draws a card, discards a card every turn. Jeez. Pretty cool. It's almost definitely the best pick. But I'm unreasonably tempted to take Canyon Crawler here. With triple cat-gator, as I've been saying. Nah. I'm gonna make sure we end up with a great deck instead of a slightly funner one that's probably worse. Decent Judy, though. Spectre. I only need 2 more non-land cards. And if we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, we can be mono black. Yeah, I mean, starting the draft with triple cat-gator was like such an easy, just like, what is the game plan? What's your win condition? How are you 3 cat-gator? We don't really need to do much else in terms of building around than that. There's Canyon Crawler. We might get there on black spells here. This is now 23 non-land cards. 17 lands. So every pick we make, we get to cut a card. So ideally, we just take a bunch of black spells and cut a bunch of blue spells. Let's take this and cut the 2-mana blue creature. Because blue is going to be more of a splash, we won't hit the color till a little bit later. Next up, probably want to cut Quench. That is worse later in the game. When we do find black spells here, we find Canyon Crawler or Callous Inspector. I've already got 7/7 drop. Not sure I want another 6 drop. Take another Inspector here, and we will cut the Quench. Next cut, probably Boomerang Basics also seems more impactful the earlier you can cast it. Oh, I guess I'm still running a Shrine. I probably have to cut this Air Temple before anything else. Buzzard Wasp Colony. I mean, it's fine with Longfang. All these Inspectors are good cards to sack to it. I'm really not into the Swamp Hunters, so I will try this Wasp Colony. It's certainly better than the Air Temple, at least. Second, Canyon Crawler can get ran over Boomerang Basics. And then if we get 1 more black spell, I guess I just can run these Waterbendings like I was saying. Cut the final 2 blue spells, run double Waterbending. We have a deck. 17 land, mono black control, 6 removal spells, 2 miniature board wipes, and 3 cat-gators as finishers. There's a Meteor Sword and a Zuko's Exile I could also try out, but I don't think I want to. I certainly don't want Zuko's Exile, do I, with 3 Swamp Snare Trap and 3 Sold Out? Yeah, there's no way I want Zuko's Exile, but even Meteor Sword, it would be my 4th 7-mana play. That is a lot. Especially for a color with no ramp. Yeah, we'll cut the Meteor Sword. So you got double board wipe, 6 targeted removal spells, a decent curve of creatures to keep us alive a bit, and then start slamming cat-gators, targeting our opponent's face. This is going to be a fun deck. I'm pumped for this one. We'll call it a deck here, hop in the gameplay, and see how far triple cat-gator can take us. Here we are on the draw for game 1, hoping our opponent is aggro, since we got this Waterbending for them. I'd take a 1-for-1 trade with this card, I think, but if we can kill 2 creatures with it, that'll be a really good start for us. Alright, well, I will definitely take a 1-for-1 trade if I have 2 copies. 3 toughness gets around the Waterbending. Let's lead with the Swamp Snare Trap on the 3 toughness card then, because they could play more into the Waterbendings to get more kills off them. Oh, Secret Tunnel!
Secret tunnel!
Alright, They just keep all their mana up and pass. I don't really want to play Hog Monkey into the Waterbending, but it's my only play other than holding up Sold Out. Yeah, I think that's fine. This probably pulls removal. Mythic Rare. Bounce Spell. Well, they've gotten bombed into the nth dimension. Three flying vigilance, instant speed, draw a card. At worst. Okay. The hexproof trick for it. Well, it'll be a super quick game. I think we're dead. We have 2 turns. We're dead to removal already. If it's cheap enough. That is not removal. Don't think we can live another turn, though. At this rate. Yeah, I mean, I can kill the 3/1s and die to the Mythic and the Submarine. Nope. Wrong emote, Marina. Wrong emote. I'm gonna make one adjustment to this deck real quick. Actually, am I gonna make one adjustment here? I mean, I have double Swamp Cycler. I'm 17 land double Swamp Cycler. I was considering if an 18th land would be worth cutting our worst card, considering we really are trying to hit 7 mana every single game with triple cat-gator. This is a deck where 18 lands would make sense, but with double Swamp Cycler off of double Canyon Crawler, we kind of already have 18 whenever we have time to Swamp Cycle those. Yeah, we could cut like a one of Swamp Hunters here, because we have like maybe 2 ways to make a clue. So this is a 3/4 with no other text, really. Yeah, I'm gonna go 18 lands. Alright. 4 removal spells is the opening hand. We have 6 in the whole deck, but each game we've kind of gone just like all removal. Kind of a weird start to this draft. Yeah, very, very weird draws, statistics-wise and likelihood-wise. This is all 2 of our 2 copies of Trap, all 2 of our 2 copies of Sold Out. So Judy to block Gran. No lesson in their grave for Platypus Bear yet, thankfully. So we take no damage by having this Judy on board. This is a 4 removal spell hand. We can just throw one at Platypus Bear. Earth Kingdom General. We get our -2/-2 to everybody. That looks pretty good here. But we do not have it right now. Just hold up the instant speed removal. Yeah, more 2/2s aren't really going to help block well here. They just have 2 expendable 2/2s on their board. Pass through, Corrupt Court Official. Good draw with Judy out. Now I do have a good trade into one of these 2/2s. Surveil that swamp away towards something big like a cat-gator. That is large. It certainly calls for removal. Sell it out while they're tapped out. And drop an Inspector, which is going to be super helpful here. Great with Judy and June. Oh yeah, their rare land is going to go pretty hard here. They get to keep throwing counters all over their lands. So I'll just trump here and draw the card immediately. Waterbending's actually pretty bad here. Make this forest a -1/1. This is like essentially the same as exiling it. Considering if I exile it, it just comes right back tapped. I'm going to save the sold out for a potentially scarier threat. And it's actually better for us if they put more counters onto that forest, because then it's a 1/3 instead of a 2/2. So it takes longer to become relevant. I guess now I could have a pretty reasonable waterbending turn. But I just lose to this land. There's the cat-gator, which was the dig. The hopes, the dreams, they're here. All we need to do is draw all 3 copies of our cat-gator. How difficult could that be? There's 2 of them. No instant speed fight spell, please. Okay. Go, cat-gator, go. Yes. If this connects, we might be able to kill them with 2 cat-gators. We're already at 8 damage off of the ETB of the next one. They're at 12 now. We can deal 8 when our next cat-gator enters. Oh, Boomy's a bunch of blockers. Boomy be bringing bunches of blockers. I can't think of more B words. That's not a removal spell. And this only puts counters on itself. Does not put counters onto another creature. I hate cat-gatoring the boomy instead of their face. I hate it. But it might be the play. Oh. I think it's the play. Gotta say, these ruinous waterbendings have felt super mid. We do lethal them if we draw the third cat-gator, so I guess that's back to being our plan again. Find cat-gator, copy 3. Trade, play a big beefy creature. Yeah. Could play the Hog Monkey instead. Hog Monkey plus exhaust it. And I have a menacing attacker, potentially. Ooh, I get a clue? Thank you. I'm down to 33. That gator's so dumb. Inspector to dig again, and I still have the 8 up to play and exhaust this Hog Monkey. Flashing in a Serpent of the Past, pretty big, but Hog Monkey can trade for it. I think I'd rather chump with Inspector though, because Hog Monkey gets those menace attacks. And they're spreading out their lands now. Play around the menace. I will eat this island. Thanks to our opponent not realizing Hog Monkey's instant speed for counters. Or maybe they just haven't seen it before, period. Oof. It's here. The Hog Monkey. I was probably supposed to Waterbending and Menacing for 3. Yeah, that's my bad. One swamp from the kill. I guess I could still Waterbend post-combat just to get the clue. No Basing Say activation? Oh, so they're cracking the clue? Unless they have Sokka's Haiku, this is lethal. Quench does not do it. And even if I had played the Menace them for 3 last turn play, I wouldn't have had the mana to cast the cat-gator that turn. So the game plays the same way, even though I did punt last turn. Because I had enough mana to have done the -2/-2 with everybody to then menace in for 3, to put them to 8, but then I didn't have the mana to cast cat-gator then, so I would put them to 8 and then untap and play the cat-gator here. So it was a punt because that would be a way to make sure I had lethal this turn, but since I drew the swamp this turn, it plays out the same regardless. All right, well, that's the deck plan right there. We drew all 3 cat-gators and just faced with 2 of them. That was sick. That was super cool. We outgrinded Ba Sing Se off of the bajillion points of life gain. Sick game of Magic. It's 1-on-1 heading to game 3. Here we are on the play for game 3. It's a little low on mana, but we're an 18 land deck with 2 Swamp Cyclers. So I think we're more than capable of keeping 2 landers. Judy starts our opponent off. Long Fang here. Hog Monkey's just not attacking through 2/2s, and we're not close to exhausting it yet. Ty Lee can shut off blockers. I would like to clear that out ASAP. But I don't know that I want to spend the turn on sold out this early. Mind Buzzard Wasping this Corrupt Court Official away. Making sure we keep hitting land draws. I can go Inspector and sold out next turn. Probably selling out Ty Lee. Wandering Musicians is pretty big too, though. It's a 3/5 and it buffs the other creatures. I could just take this trade. Play full defense here. This might be dumb, but I do like playing full defense in the cat-gator build. Judy only activates as a sorcery, so they can't respond to an instant like sold out with Judy's ability. Play their own sold out, fair enough. I'm gonna keep the Swamp Snare Trap. Judy is theoretically threatening. Like, what if they play the 4-mana 3/3 that comes with a 1/1? It's like, then I would really wish I Swamp Snared the Judy. But at the same time, they could play like any decently sized creature, and I'll wish that I hadn't. Unless I hit another Swamp Snare, then I can just kill both. Yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of Judy. If they're deep into red as well, they could have the 3-mana 2/1 haste that spits out a 1/1. That's another card that works really well with Judy. Wolfbat's a good one because they could sack it and then bring it back, cracking the clue. Last card in their hand is Fight Removal. That's not horrific for me. Obviously they can bring the Wolfbat back, but only if they draw 2 cards in 1 turn, which they now can't do because they cracked the clue during our turn. And crack their land and spend the black. top deck cat-gator and the 3-color deck. So their cat-gator's just for 2, but that's still pretty decent. There's the sold out for it. What's the clue bring us? Swamp. Yeah, we gotta sold out the lifelinker. Cruel Administrator off the top. Makes another creature every time it attacks. Yeah, we have to cat-gator that instead of their face. Crack the land and bring back the bat. The bat big enough to hold our cat-gator off. Deadly Precision, destroy the cat-gator. Put us back down to 20. Another inspector for us. I have really liked these inspectors in this deck. It's like a little bit of ping damage, but also the clue tokens to see more cards in our library and be more likely to draw some of our cat-gators throughout the game. Zuko Conflicted. Really good value if you can sack the Zuko before you have to give him to the opponent. Now they can double block the Menace, so we can't send here. If you're aggressive enough, when you give your opponent the Zuko, they have to lose 2 life every time, every main phase as well. Oh god, they hit Tolls of War in a top deck. War. That is going to spit so many creatures out over time. Every time they sack anything, they get a 1/1. Not good. Not good. But we have 2 lethal top decks. They're down to 8, so either of our other 2 cat-gators kill them in 1 shot. And there's one of them. Kaboop! And that's 2-1 heading to game 4. Alright, here we are for game 4. Come on, red-based aggro. Go 1 mana 1/2, 2 mana 2/1, 3 mana 2/1 plus 1/1, and then I go Waterbending. Oh, friendly reminder, I'm going to try to say this every draft now that I know it's a thing. Blow up the carriage. You will get a cabbage pet in your mailbox. Ooh, we got our removal spell. Maybe our canyon crawler will stick around, be a big spooky spider beast. I want to eat that right now. I don't know what's in this soup, but I want to eat it. I really gotta go to the grocery store. I have not cooked the meal at home in like a week and a half, 2 weeks now. It's super unhealthy. Just been so busy with life stuff. But I should get some stuff to make some soup. Anyways. Our opponent's playing some nice cheap creatures that are going to be great to throw Waterbending at. Might even just do it right now. If I play the Wasp Colony to draw a card, this is just also going to die to the Waterbending. But, I mean, I can wait on the Wasp Colony until after the Canyon Crawler, I suppose. It's pretty reasonable. And then I can draw the card by sacking the food. And then I can stop looking at it. It's not even on the board right now. And I can't resist. thinking about soup. Here's a cat-gator for us. Here's our blocker for their 2/2. Probably just going to pull removal from them. Yep. We can get the canyon crawler back, though, off of that. We blow up the jailer. Did I cat-gator the jailer? Probably cat-gator the jailer, considering it gives me a 3/2 lifelink and a 6/6 on this board. Yeah, it's worth the not shoot in face. Right now, 7 damage isn't going to their face, but 6 damage off of a canyon crawler attack could be. Path to Redemption on the canyon crawler. We'll go ahead and sacrifice that instead so that they can't sacrifice it to get a 1/1 out of the deal. Long Fang, that would have been sick 1 turn ago, right before I sacked that. Gather the White Lotus, 5 mana for 2 2/2s. And scry 2, thanks to the reinforcements. This would just be 5 mana for 2 1/1s if they didn't have the ally buffer out. Get our lands here. Flyer's not a great blocker. Start chipping for 2 a turn. Sadly, Longfang does not trigger on artifacts. It's just creatures and lands. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's super bad. We have terrible blocks this turn. And they draw a card every single turn now, basically. Gross. I don't remember if we have any other cards to sack artifacts. I'll eat one of these food. Leave one of them around. Sold out on the reinforcements seems like a play. Rumble Arena, scry 1. Scry to the top. They have a hexproof trick in hand. There's not a lot of hexproof in the set. There's the one uncommon in white. Wow. All right. Incredible in this position. The untapped 2 creatures, +2/+2 to both. Now Invasion Tactics just popping off, even if I blow up a 1/1. And then they play a bomb rare that draws more allies off the top of their deck. Huge card draw engines over there. Tactics plus Hakoda here. I don't think that there's any turning this game around now, even if we hit like 2 cat-gators in a row. And I guess if the draws are Swamp, cat-gator, cat-gator. that's like our one potential plan. Oh man, this trap doesn't even do anything to Hakoda, because the most important part is the ability to keep playing all their allies off the top. Just spamming spells. I just gotta, it's 2 cat-gators in a row or bust. We gotta get real lucky here. Yep, Glider Kid's off the top, so that was 2 extra cards drawn this turn so far. And then scry into another ally, potentially. Nope, just play a 7/7, good lord. Very big. Quite large. cat-gator. Nope, Callous Inspector. Not the worst in the world. Chump 7 and draw another card. Sold Out, also not the worst. We can get rid of the Hakoda. I might have to get rid of the Sabertooth, though. I'm not particularly happy either way. Sacking Hakoda would be wild here, because this is an enchantment and not a sorcery. Okay. They were reading the Hakoda a little bit. I was like, I would love it if you did sack that, but I don't think it's the play. I kind of feel like I have to sold out this Moose Lion, because it kills me so much faster. I can get double clue off of doing that as well if I choose to take 5 here. Which is more opportunities to hit cat-gator. Maybe they'll be too good at drawing cards, and they'll mill out. Land. Gigantic ally off the top. Boomy. 4/4 and a 3/3 off the Earthbend. If I don't draw a cat-gator this turn, I think this is where I'm legitimately taking lethal, instead of just like functionally losing the game. cat-gator. No, cat-gator, please. I'm at 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I cast these two, I'm dead to 1 removal spell. No, I get a food. I get a food. I think I have to hold the food mana up over sacking the clue this turn then. Flying Boomy. They got something that buffs the whole board here. Is it another +2/+2 to 2 things trick? This is the most damage I can stop. It's another +2/+2 to 2 things. Jeez. Well, dragged that on a lot longer than I thought we could. But not quite long enough to find a cat-gator. If we hit just one of the 2 cat-gators by then, we would be at like 10 more life, which would give us quite a few extra turns to try to find the next one, but could not get there. Yeah, just really strong ally deck from our opponent there. That's the best I've ever seen Invasion Tactics play. I mean, they just had a lot of tokens out when we were in a top deck war, so it was like, I had a 1/1 removal spell, they had 2/1 tokens. This thing drew them 5+ cards. And then, of course, Hakoda doing the same, playing all of their allies off the top. Just exceptional card draw engines to have in a top deck war like that. And that is going to pull them way ahead in the end game for 2-2, heading into game 5. All right, here we are for game 5 on the draw. This is a nice start. Good creature to sack to the Buzzard Wasp colony, multiple early removal spells, and the first cat-gator to get that chain trying to go. Playing against Boros, from what we see so far. Red-white duel, but also Rumble Arenas. That's multiple multicolored lands in a row. They could very well be much more multicolored than just red-white. And they sure are. They play an island this turn. For blue, white, and red. Master Paku. Could keep milling us. That's annoying enough to Swamp Snare, I think. Because I will fall into a deep depression if they mill any cat-gators. Cat Owl has arrived. Solid little flyer. Could sell that out. Or just take 3 damage for a little bit. Drop the colony first. And get some card draw going and just drop this colony. Oh, we've drawn all 7 swamps for our first cat-gator now. Does this untap itself? Does untap itself, so 4 mana 3/3 flying vigilance at worst. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. This untaps itself. It's a little bit better than I was giving it credit for then. It's actually just solid filler. Miniature Sarah Angel. But obviously Sarah Angel, depressingly, is not even good anymore. But... and when I say not even good, I mean Sarah Angel used to be like bomb rare, or like really good on common power level. Now it's just filler in like foundations. So I guess I gotta sell out the 4/3 flyer instead of the 3/3 flyer, but this is not a great position. This looks like a terrible waterbending matchup. They haven't played a single 2 toughness or less creature. Yeah, sell out the 4 power flyer and pass, I suppose. We're down to 13. There's a Porcupine. If they have literally any instant or sorcery, they respond to our Waterbending by casting it, and then the Porcupine doesn't die, but our colony does. So this still looks like a pretty terrible time to try to play Waterbending. So we'll just crack the clue and see what we draw. Another swamp. Do I really need to waterbending sack colony to kill this porcupine? Just sounds like a terrible idea. Because they could have like quench up too. I guess we're just chumping with colony at this point. Show me the instant. Oh, we actually get a trade. I was really not expecting that to legitimately get a trade off. Infinite blue mana untapped. They have 3 blue up and 3 cards in hand, and they played nothing this turn. They didn't even have priority when we blocked, which means they either have literally all lands or all counter spells. This really feels like counter spells. But I have nothing to play around the counter spells with. I don't have time to wait till turn 9 to try to play my first cat-gator. Okay. No counterspell? I mean, this is gain 7, so I don't need to kill Cat Owl if I'm going back up to 17. And that way, if we get to 10 lands, we win. Oh, it's the same mythic we lost our very first game to. That would be real tragic. I mean, it's doing even more this game. This was a straight up, this was draw 2 and a 5/5 flying vigilance. Oh no. I don't think we're getting there. I don't think we're gonna have 10 lands out fast enough. This Mythic just crushed us. Nine damage on their board. We have an 8 damage cat-gator. Waterbending does not do anything. It's just pass, right? I have no other direct damage in this deck except for the third copy of cat-gator. Like, I guess I can gamble on drawing a third copy and just go 8 to face here. If I draw the third copy, though, the third copy goes face by itself and lethals them, so I could play this cat-gator just to kill that and get a lot more time to draw the third. Is there any way whatsoever I can wait on this cat-gator till 10 lands? I take 9, go to 3, play a land, and I only have Waterbending. There's no chance in the world I can wait till 10 for this cat-gator. I think I have to Wan-Shi Tong. Or shoot Wan-Shi Tong. Which is so disappointing. Might as well drop another bomb rare. Aang is a big flyer that puts another permanent out and then flips into a bigger flyer that animates a land every single turn. And then Aang hits another rare, Sokka, card 2, draw 2. Get a counter every time they play any artifact or lesson. Holy rares, Batman. Land for us. cat-gator is trading better on an attack than it is on blocks. We've got one lethal top deck in this deck, and that's it. We got like 2 turns to draw our final cat-gator, but the odds would be so low of having all 3 in like the top 20. Okay. I've lost count of how many rares they've bombed us with, but there's another one. I think that means I have literally 1 turn to hit cat-gator then, because we're taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next turn, 4, 5, 6... Or sorry, we're taking 9 right now. So we take 9, and the next turn we take 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I have 1 turn to hit the cat-gator. Yep, and that's getting the Earthbending going. That is not the cat-gator. 2 and 3, it will be super sad run here. We just got bombed out for all 3 losses. The same blue mythic for loss number 1 and number 3. And our second loss, they had the ally rare. Yeah, I mean, obviously this deck is a little bit more cheesy than it is great. Biggest underperformer goes to Ruinous Waterbending, which was pretty terrible in a couple of those matches, like that very last game of Magic, that was pretty terrible. Wasp Colony was really small of a body for the cost. Yeah, we needed black to be a little bit more open than this to have like an actually great deck going with the triple cat-gator, but I really couldn't resist with the 3 copies. I don't think there's too many cards in here that are actively awful. I think that's really just the Ruinous Waterbendings. The Wasp Colony is a close third in terms of power level, but Hog Monkey actually put in some work in 1 or 2 of those games. The Canyon Crawlers were solid in a couple of those games, and everyone else I think actually was. Just a decent card, period, at worst. But if we swap these 3 out for a little bit of more good removal or a little bit more better creatures, something like that, And I think we actually have a really legitimate deck, or like the 18th swamp, swapping the 18th swamp out for a better card, but super fine with having cut the swamp hunters for the 18th swamp at least. I mean, maybe just try to play the meteor sword as well. If we're going to go for the 18 land version, I could see one waterbending, one meteor sword, since it's 18 land double swamp cycler for the 4 7-drops, and the 2 7-drops work really well together. If we put a meteor sword onto the cat-gator, we could gain extra life, so that could help too, having those two together. This would probably be the better build. So there's like that slight adjustment there that we could have done during deck building. But I think it was really that black was just a tiny bit too cut. If it was just a little bit more open and we had a little bit higher card quality, I think this deck would be excellent. And then there's also the luck of the draw in terms of the variance of what matchups you end up playing against. Our last deck, our Teamer mid-range deck, I think it ran against way weaker decks than this one. We got a little bit of the rough end of the stick here, especially for that third game of Magic. I mean, they like 5 rared us or something. So there's not a whole ton you can do there, even with an excellent deck. And this was not quite excellent, but it was very fun, and I'm sad I didn't get to play with it at least a little bit more today, but that's how the cookie crumbles. That's going to be 2 and 3 for today's draft. See you later, cat-gator. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube out and send us more on your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel and the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. Other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.